House Oversight Committee member and Tennessee Congressman Tim Burchett has more on what we can expect today. Congressman, thanks for giving us some time here on Rush. The bigger picture here is, and you would know the narrative so far, is that Republicans have not produced any concrete evidence to undergird this impeachment. And then the other massive shoe fell when the FBI informant, who's been quoted by very high-profile Republicans, including former House Speaker McCarthy when he was in power, essentially now is charged and jailed for lying about the whole thing. So I guess the real question is, what is the evidence-based foundation for moving forward with this impeachment effort?
A $20 million investment Biden to communist, and the discredited informant was on the FBI payroll for 10 years, and the FBI themselves said he was one of their best informants. And now all of a sudden he's being held without bail. No one can get access to him. So that's suspect in itself. But going back to the other, Hunter Biden has over 20 shell corporations, 20 bank accounts. That's just not what legitimate business people do. And you have documentation from bankers who have said that we need to be careful of this or get rid of these accounts because he's not producing anything. This is just money flowing through there. And of course, you have the president's own brother who said that Joe Biden, his brother, was beside him during a phone call and during a meeting that was going on with one of these corporations. So you have to ask yourself, what exactly are the Bidens selling? What is their product? And I believe also something else that needs to be addressed is have they paid any taxes on any of this money that's flowed through Hunter to the president's brother to the big guy, the president of the United States, at the time when he was vice president? So I think there is plenty of evidence. It's just that folks are, it's, as you stated, it's a year-long process, and it is a lengthy process, and it's very detail-oriented, and that folks are not, they won't follow these things after this. I like to say people want their pizzas in 30 minutes or less, and that's about their attention span, and that's kind of where I am as well.
But it kind of sounds like you just raised a lot of questions and didn't necessarily list actual factual evidence. I mean, were there direct deposit, routing numbers? I mean, I'm still kind of lost at what the actual evidence is connecting whatever Hunter Biden allegedly does to President Biden, then Vice President Biden.
Yes, ma'am. And there's bank records that show that. And why you all don't disclose those on your show is beyond me, because the Treasury Department, in fact, has disclosed those. We've disclosed those. There's been multiple accounts where their money has flowed from Hunter to the president's brother to, in fact, the president. There was an account that was released just a couple of weeks ago where the president's own brother took in through AmeriCorps, a failed health care corporation. They're not sure why his brother was even involved with it other than his last name. And then at the very day that he was paid $400,000, that $200,000 was in fact paid to Joe, and they claimed that it was a loan, but there's no proof of that. And the irony of the whole thing was that it happened on the very same day. Now, I don't know about you, but the business had loaned the president's brother $400,000. I don't know of any business that stays in business very long that just loans people money. And why would they loan him that money? And why would his brother then turn around and pay Joe $200,000? I believe you're going to see, and also the latest, the findings that the court cases that came out that said the president is an old man. He couldn't stand on trial and all that. I think that's being done just because eventually they're going to have to say this president is not capable mentally to handle this. His cognitive skill level is decreased or diminished at such a level that he can't handle these things. And I believe that's why they're making the case for this. I believe that will be the end result. And I believe the Democrats will probably bring Gavin Newsom out of California at some point, dust him off, and put him in either at the convention or sometime before then, because I just don't see this president being capable of handling any of this.
And let me go back to the impeachment issue. I just want to be clear and boil it down. Is the core accusation, emphasis on the word accusation at this point, that Joe Biden himself, not the son, not the brother, the president of the United States, the legitimate president of the United States, Joe Biden, that he accepted bribes or was engaging in fraudulent banking or shell companies that didn't pay taxes? What's the core accusation? Just so I'm clear, sir.
Yes, it was complete access. When you have Chinese communists investing, and then the president of the United States says, I had no comment, I had no conversations with my son about that, when in fact we had testimony that it basically said that Hunter handed the phone.
Mike, but boil it down. Just in layman's terms, like we're watching an episode of Law and Order. Boil it down. What are you essentially accusing the president of, and can the American public expect hardcore evidence down the road at some point as this procedure proceeds?
There was $20 million that went through this family, and the money was being used for access to Joe Biden. Bottom line.
Okay, Tennessee Congressman Tim Burchett, thank you so much for your time. We appreciate it. Jay, over to you.